Hello everyone, today I'm doing something a little bit different. I have been going through my fabrics over the weekend. As a lot of you know, I like to go thrifting or op shopping and purchasing pretty clothes and then cutting those clothes up. Well, I have far too many. I was going through my fabrics on the weekend and I decided that I would bag some up and put them on my Etsy shop if anybody, especially Australian ladies, because I've got to keep in mind postage and things like that. If anybody would be interested in purchasing my excess. Now, these are pre-loved clothes. They were washed when I purchased them. They haven't been washed since, so, you know, they've been in bags. So keep that in mind. So I'll show you what I've got, and this is kind of geared more towards Australian ladies, mainly for postage reasons. So the first bag here, and I thought I would sell them for 15 Australian dollars. And so I'm just going to put that on there so I remember. And we'll call this will be bag number 1. And I'll show you what I've got. This is a pink one, obviously. Okay, so this is what we have, offcuts. So we have, and these are great for, you know, all your crafting. We have this lovely piece here. Then we have 2 pieces of this sequined fabric. A lovely piece of netting with sequins on it, and it kind of gets, see how it goes from full to rather scattered, and it's quite a large piece. I'm not going to be measuring them out, but there we go, up to there. And then we have some, it's like a pink lining, but quite thick lining. And that's a strip of that, and it's really pretty pink. It's a very pretty, like blush pink. And then we have this lovely fabric here, and this has strips of like grosgrain ribbon joined together, and there is one mint stripe every so often as well. How pretty would that be on like a journal cover like that? Isn't that lovely? It's just so pretty. So there's that one there. Or even just to use, you know, you could unpick that if you wanted to. This is lovely. It's a satin, and it's like in a dusty pink. And that's a nice size piece also. And remember, they are off of garments, so they're all different shapes and sizes. There's no 2 packs exactly the same. This is beautiful. Look at this fabric. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's quite a good size piece as well. And it does have a seam down the middle of it. See that? That's probably the back of a top or something. But if you're only after small pieces of fabric, this is ideal. Then we have, oh, I love this. I really love this. How pretty is this? See, it's all, isn't it beautiful? It's soft as pink. It's all gathered, and there's 2 strips, but then there's also this really delicate fabric underneath it as well. And then at the bottom, there's also a little pleated ruffle. Isn't that sweet? Such a pretty colour. And then there is some of this fabric as well, and I know this is quite popular with journals and things. All that, like that. And these are all things I have purchased. Nothing in these packs is from what people may have sent me. Then there's this beautiful sequined fabric again. It's really pretty, isn't it? And that's on a netting. And then there's this, which is like it's got a cotton fabric behind that. And there's also a bow. And another piece of the skirt there as well. And then there's this fabric, really pretty. I think that was off like a little dressing gown or something. It's such a pretty colour pink though, isn't it? And there's another small piece of that as well. Looks like the sleeve. And then we have this. That's one side and that's the other. I think that's the wrong side, so that side there. And this is stretchy, but it's such nice texture on it. And then there's this cotton fabric, and this is a ruffle piece that's doubled over. It's got bows on it. And there's another piece, and this was, I think, around the top of, it was like a little dressing gown, but I love the look that gives. Isn't that pretty with the elastic? It's got a little bit of elastic, then you've got your gathered laces and inlet lace, and then it's got this tiny little picot lace around the edge of it. And then we have this, which was part of a shawl or scarf type thing. It's so pretty. It's got silver thread going through it in the palest of pinks. Really pretty. And then we have some more of this. This is a brand new fabric I was fortunate to find when out op shopping. And it's got all that. It's very similar. It's the same as this sort of thing here. But that one's been used. And of course this is brand new and never been used. It's got that stretch to it. But you could cut that in strips. This is great for using as a closure on a journal or something like that as well. So there's that one. Almost an, oh, you're going to love this. This is gorgeous. Look at this. How pretty is that? Look, oh my goodness. And it's double layer. Oh, I love that. But I don't need it all. Isn't it pretty though? Oh, love that. Well, let me just, it's so pretty. It's gorgeous. Shabby chic. And then this one here is a piece of netting with a little gathered trim around the bottom in the netting as well. And then lastly for this kit is this one, which has that gathered trim, and then I haven't cut it off, I've just cut a little bit onto the lining of this one just to keep that gathered, so you can trim it down however you want it, but a nice piece of that as well. So that's the first kit, and that's kit number 1. So this one is bag number 1, and this is bag number 2, which is, I think it's almost identical. So I'm not going to go through this. See, you can see all the things in here are like, if there was half a dress, I would cut it down the middle. One went in one and one went in the other, and I'd get the back of the dress or something like that. So this is number 2, and this is the same as number 1. and that will also be $15. In fact, I think most of them will be $15. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the same as number 1. This one is number 3. And I think I'll just put them all at $15. It'll just be easier. And this is like a sea green and blue kit. Okay, so we have some blue, and I found this at the same time as I found the pink, and they're brand new, never been used. So there's a long strip of that. And there's 2 of these as well that are, yeah, here we go. See, this one is the same as the one I'm showing you now, so that will be number 4. So there's that one. Now, this is beautiful. Look at that. It's beautiful corded lace. Can you see that? And that's come off the front, the back or the front of a jacket. There's the scalloped edge down the bottom there. There is a seam going through it, but nothing overly noticeable. It's really beautiful, and it's got a lovely netted background as well. So there's a couple of these pieces in this kit. There's some beautiful blue satin. I think this actually came from this. It like went over like that. It's so pretty. I think it was a jacket I found. And so there's a piece of the blue satin like that. It does have a bit of a seam. And this is another piece of that beautiful lace as well. This one must have been a dress, because can you see that's the front of the bodice there with a little dart and then another dart underneath it. So I did find a jacket with very similar fabric as this as well. So that goes there. Oh, this is lovely. This was a tablecloth I found, and it's a vintage tablecloth. It's beautiful. There's the pattern on it there in that corner. And so this is like a quarter of the tablecloth, and it's got this, it's so fine. It's so fine. I don't know what the fabric is, but it's beautiful. So there's that. And then there's this, which is a lot of fun that you can use on something. It is a little bit stretchy, but can you imagine that on something? It's really pretty. And that's in a lovely crepe chiffon. And then there's some of the fabric from that same garment. Like that. Really pretty, like seafoam green colour. It's really lovely. And then I think this came from the same garment. It's a beautiful lace piece that I think it was around the neck. And so it dips down on that side, and then it goes round. Whoops, that's the wrong way. No, that's the right way. So that's a really pretty lace that goes with it. And then there's this fabric, which is lovely. It's got like a tan colour, and then this lovely seafoam green colour, and then it's netted on the background. It's all lace. It's beautiful. So that's the piece there. And then there was also, I think it had cap sleeves or something. We've got something happening there. And that little part there was one of the sleeves. Like it went like that. It's really pretty though. It is got a stretchy part, but that could be interesting to be using. Then there's this fabric, which I might just need to trim that, or just put that away so it doesn't get everywhere. It's sticking to my hands now. Oh no. Oh no. I got it. Okay. So this is a lovely piece. And by the way, it's fraying. It could be silk. It's really pretty. Very pretty colour. And yes, this is silk. It's beautiful. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? This was on a dress, and this is a piece of silk. It's a really pretty colour. It is a green, very, very pale, very fine, wispy, very wispy. And then we've got two pieces of this last up, and this was a suit I found. This is part of the skirt. Lovely fabric. Isn't that pretty? Such a lovely fabric. So there's that piece there. And there's also another piece here, which is, I think, part of the front of the skirt. So you've got a bit of a hem, and then the front there. So that is a sea foam green and blue type of kit, and there are two of those at $15 each. That's number 4. I might need to put those in bigger bags. Kind of use the bags I've got, because I find those at the op shop as well. Okay, so that's those ones. Oh, and there's this one here. There's another one of those as well. But I don't think this one is one of them isn't exactly the same, because obviously you only get 2 pieces from the front of a skirt, or 2 sleeves or something. But it will be some other part, and it'll either be that one or that one. But as you can see, they're made up of the same components, exactly the same components. They're just probably different parts of the actual garment, that's all. So number 5 as well is made up of the same things. Okay, just to save a bit of time. And then, this is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And I've got a little bit of this put aside for myself as well, but whoever gets this is going to love it. This is all the bits from all the garments I was cutting up. These are all the... See how, look, all the like selvage edges and things like that, and like little off-cut pieces, because once I went to the op shop and I found a whole bunch of pieces like this. Somebody must have made wedding dresses or things like that, and they just, all the scraps were just put to the side, and this is what they are. So although you might not see how it's cut that little flower off a bit there, this is just the way I found them, and I found quite a lot. So I've thrown some of those in here as well. But these are selvages off of lace materials, little bits like this off of fabrics. This beautiful piece here, I know it might be scraps to somebody, but a lot of people love this sort of thing, and I do. I love this sort of thing. A little bit of this blue fabric here I put in. That's a brand new fabric. I think I may have put pink in there as well. See, look at this. Isn't that nice? Just Imagine that on a journal, down the side of a page of a journal or something. I don't want to look at this too long because I want to keep it. But I did put some aside for myself as well. Bit of ruffle. Another bit of ruffle. Look at that. Beautiful. And this, see, it's even got Target Baby on the back, but that can be used. It's got the 3 flower buttons on there. Can be used. A little bit of this that's got the bow. So a little bit of this. So this one's a really, really nice little bag of goodies. That one's got like that, a bit of that. These ribbon bits that came from dresses and things, and you know, this sort of thing, and the blue. There we go. Bit of this. Oops, it fell on the floor. What else? That one, that's that silk fabric. Another bit there. See, that was the bodice of the silk dress, and it was all runched. It was all runched up, but that will come in handy for someone who likes this sort of thing. So that's what that kit is. Full of yummies. I'm not folding all that. That's just going in the bag like this. That has all the colours in it, which is nice, isn't it? So there's even this. This is that dressing gown. It's got the buttons on it still. So that can go in there. And that one is number 6. And that's, we'll put that at $15. I'm just going to keep them all at $15. That's like a treasure trove, that one. Okay, next one, there's 2 of these as well. Yep, they look pretty much exactly the same. So I'll only show you one. So this is number 7. Putting 15 on that. Okay. The first piece is a lovely crocheted piece, like that. And all the way down to the bottom. Remember, they are off garments. There may be a mark on them, but nothing too horrible, because they don't sell stained, you know, really stained clothes and things like that. So you're more likely to get marks on doilies and tablecloths than you are to get them on clothes. And there's another piece of that one. All those flowers you can cut out as well. There's 2 of those, I think. Yep. Yep, another piece off a different part of the garment. Okay, so you've got a few pieces of that, and there's another piece there. I think I found a couple of these. That's why there is quite a lot there. Okay, so there's those pieces. There's this really pretty fabric here. Look how soft and pretty that is. So pretty. So there's a piece of that. Along with a bit of ruffle for that one as well. Really pretty. And then there's this piece here, and this piece has all these little flowers on it. Shabby flowers. And then there's this piece, and this is all beaded and embroidered. This, let me just bring it up. See all that? It's a really pretty piece. And so that's, does have a seam going through it. It was a wrap around top. So half of the front will be in this pack and the other half will be in the other pack. And I think I kept the back for myself, or half of the back. So there's that piece there. Very pretty, very pretty. And this is half of the tie that went with it. See? We've got that end which is closed off, and that was where it was joined to the garment. But it's in a really pretty crepe kind of fabric. And then you have this beautiful corded lace piece here. Isn't that lovely? And that's a good size piece. It was a dress perhaps, I think, yes, because there's the scallop down the bottom there. So there's that piece. Oh, and this gorgeous piece of white sequin fabric. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. That would be lovely to use at Christmas time. And then there's this piece here. And all these circles can be cut out for embellishments if you want. And then there's flowers from the same garment. That way. And then there's this lace piece here as well. It's the scallop at the bottom. And then it's got all these flourish type things. There is a seam down the center, but you can still, there's still plenty on there that you can cut and use. It's very pretty. Oh, I love this spotted tulle piece. Isn't that pretty? There's the edge of it there. It was just a little blouse, this one, and that was the bottom edge of the blouse. It has a little bit of stretch to it, but it's so pretty. There is a little mark on it though, I notice. Just there, you can see it when it's against the white, but still plenty to use. And then we have this piece here. Oh, this is the peacocks. That's right. I found this a curtain valance with peacocks all over it quite a long time ago. When I was going through my fabric, I came across it. So these kits have 2 peacocks. Can you see? Oh, let me see if I can show you the peacock. You see the peacock? There, and then the one up there goes in the opposite direction. It's really, really lovely. So there's 2 peacocks. There's this beautiful corded lace here. You can see the colour of it. It's not too yellow. It does seem to look a bit yellow on the thing, but that's really nice. You could use it as a big piece, but you can also trim it up where this where it joins here and have lots of different laces, you know. And that's because, see, if you trim it along here, you get this effect down the bottom of the lace, and you would end up with lots of strips of lace. Really pretty corded lace, that one. And then we also have, oh, this is lovely. This is some more of that one that I said I found at the op shop, where they just put all the scrap pieces in. This was one of the scrap pieces. How beautiful is this? Look. But like I said, it's been cut. So obviously it's somebody else's scraps, but very usable, especially in junk journaling and things. But it's beautiful corded lace. It's on the netting as well, and all these pieces at the top. So that's in there. And then lastly, this is such a fun piece, this one. This is a blouse, but look at it. It's got the netting, it's got the flowers, and it's got some more of this sort of stuff here that you could cut all strips off to use in your journaling or your crafts and things like that. But it's so shabby looking. It's beautiful. So there's a nice size piece of that one, and then there's with that one. I think this was also either around the sleeve or somewhere, but it's another, which way does it go? That way. It's another piece, and it's got the little selvage piece still on it. It could have gone around the sleeve or around the neck, the front of the neck or something like that. Piece of that same garment there. Okay, so that is what is in there, which is a lovely kit as well. What number did I say that one was? Where's the bag? Oh no. Oh, okay, that was number 4. No, not number 4, number 7. And this one, which is the same, is number 8. Number 8. And they're $15. Please bear in mind that does not include postage. So, of course, the bigger the kit, the more the postage is. Hopefully, what I'll do is I'll weigh the heaviest of the kits and see how much the heaviest weighs. Okay, so this is the last one for today. I did weigh them. They all come in under 500 grams, which is wonderful. So there won't be any fancy packaging on them or anything like that to keep that weight under 500 grams, which will keep postage costs down. Okay, this one is a little bit of a combination. It's a little bit of the neutral colours together with some glamorous fabrics as well. So this is number 9. $15 Australian dollars. And yeah, I don't think it's such a big bargain if you're paying for overseas shipping, but in Australia I think it's a great way of getting a variety of fabrics and things for a good price. So we've got a strip of this fabric here. That's the end strip. And there's another piece of that as well. This must have been on the sleeve perhaps. I don't know. There's a small piece. And there's another small piece the same. We have just one peacock here. One peacock piece. Let's have a look. There. I have some of these flowers. A strip of those. And some of that fabric as well. A piece of the corded lace. Just a little piece. That looks like the sleeve by the look of it of the dress there. Or maybe there's two. There's 2 pieces because both sleeves went in this kit. And then we have a bodice front. Oh, it's the bodice front and the back. So you've got like that off the top. So you've got all this lace work, little design there, one on the back as well. It's just slightly cut off at the bottom where it was joined. That's inside out. So it's a pretty piece. All that lace you can use as well. And then we have some more of this beautiful fabric that's gathered. It's a nice long piece, that one. Very wispy. Very wispy. And we have another lovely piece of this beautiful beaded and embroidered fabric here, which of course if you're cutting any of this out, you must put a little bit of glue on the back so you don't lose all your beading and that. It's really pretty. I've had that one for such a long time. And then we have some fabric. It's really pretty fabric. Look at that. It's so pretty. And that's the back of it there. So we've got that piece. And there's only one of these kits. And there's another piece there. This is in strips. I forget what this garment was. I'm trying to think. There's a few strips of that. That's another. What's that? Oh, look. See, that's. I know what this was, I think. And I think this is what it was. That's actually the inside. They used that on the outside, but then they had this going over it like that. So it was actually a grey dress, I think. Because why would you have... No, that can't be right. Yes, I think it was. See how it's cut? It had the lace on that side. And this was the inside of the dress, which is prettier than the outside, but obviously they didn't want that on the outside. But I mean, because it clashes. It kind of clashes like that. Whereas it looks very pretty with the grey under it. So, but I would use that as the fabric. It's so pretty. But you can use the very light sparkle side as well. So there's that piece there. And there's this piece here, which is like a circular piece. It was on the bottom. See? Goes right around. It's confusing because look, I don't know, I can't remember what the dress was like now, because that's the right side on there. I'm not sure. Anyway, regardless, it's lovely, lovely fabric. And I could have probably, you know, split that into a couple of kits, but I still haven't finished. I've still got things to go through. So we've got this beautiful silver fabric there. It's a beautiful flower piece, isn't it? So there's that one. And then there's a larger piece here. Oh gosh, that's so big. That is a really big piece. And then on the bottom edge, you've got all your leaves and things like that. So it's a very generous piece of fabric. And I do have more of this. But I'll see how this batch of things goes first as to whether I do any more of these kits up. And there's also this little... No, I'll put that in the bag of the off-cut pieces. That can go in that goodie. This one. I'll put that in there. That makes sense, doesn't it? I'll put it in there like that. So there's a sparkle piece in there as well. Okay, so this was number 8. That's a bit of all of that and that. And that was $15 as well. And like I said, I'm going to put those up on Etsy and see how they go. I still have things to go through because I like to keep everything, but I don't need to keep everything. I just don't have the space to keep it all. And I don't need a lot of one thing. I just like to have a good variety. So if you're interested... they'll be up on Etsy, and I won't put decorative pictures and things like that up of them. I'll just put a picture of the bag sort of thing with the number of it, and you'll just have to refer to this video to see what's in the bag. Okay, take care everybody.